Caution. This podcast is designed for mature audiences. We delve into topics surrounding sexuality and intimate relationships in a candid and open manner. Please note that we are not licensed marriage or sex therapists, and the content shared here is intended solely for entertainment and informational purposes. If you are under 18 years old or prefer not to engage in explicit discussions about sex, relationships, or mature language, we advise against proceeding further. However, if you're of legal age and comfortable with such content, feel free to settle in, grab a beverage, and enjoy this episode. Just remember, time flies when you're having fun. Oh, and the stories you are about to hear are true. The names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Welcome to Beyond Monogamy, where every episode is a journey of discovery, liberation, and endless possibility. Join your hosts Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine as they peel back the layers of convention, inviting you into a world where passion knows no boundaries. Beyond Monogamy, a podcast that transcends the traditional norms of relationships to uncover the raw, unfiltered stories about the lifestyle. And now, your hosts, Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine.
So we have a little bit of a tighter crew before we start this game tonight. Roger's not going to be here because he's got family obligations. That's what happens when you try to record right around graduation time and stuff. Welcome to Beyond Monogamy, the podcast. I am Janet Valentine.
I'm Barbie Triple E.
And I'm Steve.
I think it's the three of us. It's a cozy discussion this evening on the porch. I understand that, there might come a time where Steve has to get off the front porch and go to the back room. So he might get quiet. We'll see what happens with his family, but that's the way it works. That's how we roll. We're not really scripted very much. So I don't think anybody's got any music to talk about today, but I do know, based upon emails that were received by all of us, Roger included, that were sent out to us from Steve. Steve's got a story to tell.
Does he ever? Does he ever?
So would you like me to start with that then?
Yes, please start with the story. Yes.
Back several episodes ago, the word was brought to us by Roger, and it was sploshing. And that is where you sit basically on a nice piece of cake, smeared all around, and then the cake gets eaten off of a lady's ass. Last night, we're sitting around, and I told Elle, I said, I wanted to go to the store, grab some cake, and do this sploshing thing for you. This was 9 o'clock at night. She goes, let's go. So we go to the store. As you remember from the previous episode, one of the previous episodes, so Janet likes chocolate cake, sorry about that, and Roger likes carrot cake, so we got one of each. Came home, put out a nice sheet to cover the carpet and the ottoman. She bent over her gorgeous, nice ass over the ottoman, kneeled on that for me, set the cake on there, and just smashed it in, and I went to town. So, and I had that was the tastiest ass I've ever eaten.
And did she have cake in places she didn't even know cake could be?
She did not have any cake in her pussy. We were very careful about that because, like Janet had said, we got to be careful.
Sugar,
But we had a great time. So I did the carrot cake first. Of course, got my face covered. So then came the coup de grace was the chocolate cake. I took some icing and wrote on Elle's ass, "Hi, Janet," with the chocolate icing.
Send me the pictures.
Yes.
and sent the picture.
And sent the picture.
Yes.
So they may be up on the website. Who knows?
Yes. So we had a great time, smashed the cake there, and I went to town. I'm a chocolate cake lover also, and I just went to town and just buried my face everywhere. And afterwards, I had a little bit of the cake left, so I got myself a nice ice cold glass of milk and had chocolate ass cake and milk.
Chocolate ass cake and milk. Okay.
That could be a commercial for milk now, couldn't it? It goes with everything. Milk goes with everything. Even ass cake.
Oh, ass cake! It was so fun, and it really wasn't a sexual deal for us because but
Yeah.
it was just so fun to do, and we laughed the whole time, and so
Oh,
we're
right.
taking pictures, and she goes, "Can I take a picture?" So if you can turn around and see it, and so we'd take pictures, and she'd turn around, I'd show them to her. She's, "Oh my god!" So it was just a fun evening for us of
Ah,
splashing.
of splashing. A word we will never forget.
Oh my
Right.
god, no!
So, and I had not, so I got these pictures this today, and I was thinking, I haven't really done my homework. I haven't really gone and looked for a story yet. And then I saw those pictures, and I was like, oh hell no, I don't even need to go look for a story. There's one right here. This is really current.
I
And
It
I'm
thought the
is.
I'm with
same
you,
thing.
Barbie. I'm with you.
Ah,
I'm with you. I'm with you, Steve and Barbie. I was thinking I need to send these to Mandingo and see if he wants to put a few of them up on the website. We've always been trying to say, well, how are we going to drive more people to this website pictures? Well, maybe some splashing pictures will do it because
ah.
uh, only people who have seen that ass up front will really know that it's Elle's ass. Okay,
Oh,
because
yeah.
her ass is just beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay, it is just gorgeous. I love Elle's leaning over his shoulder and she's smiling. I love those pictures, and so it made me laugh so much today,
Oh,
and it
me
looked
too.
like so much fun.
It really was. We had a great time.
So
It
So
see,
did.
it's recommended. It's recommended.
it is.
Now,
It really is.
I don't know if it could be an Olympic event, but
Well, I think we
An
should
opening
just have just
ceremony.
right, or opening or closing
Oh,
ceremony, or
oh,
uh,
celebration.
I like the celebration part of it, like a break in the middle of all the competition, and let's just have some fun, and do that. I'm thinking also maybe it's a because the pictures were so good. Maybe it's a photography contest, right? So
Oh,
it's
Right.
a
yeah.
most creative, most artistic, most photographic, right? What's the most artist? Because they were great angles, right?
Yeah.
And it made me laugh so hard. It made me hungry when I saw the chocolate cake. And then I went to I definitely went back to because Elle, you had put in the email when you sent it to us, you had said that Elle had made the comment about that Roger was right about the chocolate, that it might be get mistaken.
Yeah.
Right.
But my question on that is well, if you're not going to do chocolate, you can't really do strawberry or cherry because that's the wrong color, right? Who
You
wants
have
to
to
see
do
a red ass?
yellow,
That's a baboon
yellow,
red ass, right?
Right.
yellow or
Yellow
white,
or
yellow or
white?
white.
Oh, okay,
But
white
I tell you,
maybe.
white and you're the same way. You use white, it's going to blend in so much with this white
White
skin.
ass, right? We're
That's
talking
right.
white ass, right? So
White,
you gotta
white. So
what's gonna so
you want anything other than white.
yeah, but
Funfetti cake.
no. So
Ah, funfetti.
funfetti sounds good, right? Or so, but you can't if you do green, that's like moldy. I'm not going
Oh,
to
you
do
don't
any
want
moldy
green.
ass
No,
thing.
no,
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 no.
no pistachio cake. No,
Right, unless
no.
it's St. Patty's Day.
Ah,
Of course.
there's always an exception. Yes.
Oh.
Oh
So,
man.
but I did love those. Love the pictures, love the story, and thought it was great. I do. I did do a little bit of homework. I do have a word, and this is. I had tried to describe this before in our other podcast conversations. I had described this, but I never had the word for it. I now have the word for it. Okay,
Okay.
so I got this off of this blog that's adultsmart.com, and it's out of Australia, and they ask people about their weirdest sexual experiences. And so I was reading through some of them and I was like, okay, that one's not too weird. Oh, that one's weird. And then I started thinking about my weirdest experiences. So I got all off on a track. And then I was reading this one and he was describing to me this, he was describing this thing. And I'll start with the word. The word is skene, Skene. Skene.
Keen.
Wow.
Do you have a guess?
No idea at all.
None. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put the word into something and just no.
Okay, so he's describing, he says he was doing this woman and he said, I had this girl, she lay on top of me, her back to my stomach side with her vajayjay facing my face. From here, I instructed her to play with herself, talking dirty to her. I encouraged her to tease herself until she came. And the more she got turned on, rubbing her clit, putting her fingers on and in her vagina, the more I talked dirty to her. She was squirming and writhing in delight on top of me. She started rubbing her G spot, and I asked her with her other hand to place a finger gently inside her ass and curve it upwards like she was doing with her G spot. Many men and even women do not know that there is a gland called Skene, Skene, that is very similar to the male prostate. It also can be milked and cause female ejaculation. He says,
Really?
this woman had obviously never done this before. When she hit the Skene gland and started massaging it whilst rubbing her G, she began to yell and scream in ecstasy and began to ejaculate. But this ejaculation was unlike any that I had or have ever witnessed before or after. She began shooting loads of cum from her pussy towards my face. These ejaculations were projectiles of cum delivered with such a force, I put my hands up to protect being hit in the face.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Oh, I used to
was
come like that. I used to
Y'all,
come like that.
I was trying to describe
God.
this. I was trying to describe, and I'm so sorry that Roger is not here he's going to have to listen to this recording because, he loves anal and he gets all in it. And, Dee doesn't do anal, so he likes to talk about this. And I was explaining to him and I was trying to explain to him that we have something up there. And I know it's a female prostate is what I was calling it. Who knew that the word is Skene? Okay.
Skene. I'm going to have to make a note of that because I will not remember it. But how did we, as women who have experienced that, how did we not know that before now?
Well,
I mean, really.
I don't think people believed me when I told them that I came doing anal. I don't think that they believed that it was pleasurable. I think we have set, especially American women, up for anal's bad. Anal's like what gay people do, and it just hurts your ass. And it's, and so I think that we have not encouraged this or explored it enough to make it acceptable. And so because of that, I don't think we have, I could tell that when I said this, and Roger's not here to defend himself, but when I said it a couple of episodes ago, and I can't even remember which episode it was that I was discussing this, when I said it, that you really do, you can come when you're fucked in the ass, and it's because of this Skene, because I know we were talking about the Enjoy, and we were asking, we were having the discussion about the Enjoy tool, letter N, right. Word joy, and whether or not I'd ever fucked myself in the ass with it, and I said yes, I had, and that it had made me come. And that was, I remember Roger's look on his face like, and I was like, I know, because I've experienced this before.
Yep.
So I just don't think we accept it.
I think you're right.
I agree. Now Elle, when she has anal with one of her buddies or with me, she comes all the time.
Yeah.
From it.
Well, we got a word for it now, girl. The female prostate is the Skene. Okay.
And hers is working overtime.
Yeah.
But I was laughing because I went through this and I was reading the bizarre sex stories, and they were talking about, there's a guy that has a discussion about the fact that he goes back to this girl's house, and he goes, it says, let's get with, he says he goes back to the girl's house, and she asks him, is it okay if we have my friends watch while we have sex? And, she opens the door to her bedroom and it's full of stuffed animals.
Oh, those are the friends?
Yes. Yes. So
Oh
it's
my
full of
goodness.
stuffed animals. And so
Oh, yeah.
he says, I'm like,
What
I'm
the hell?
horny. He goes, so
What
I'm
the
horny.
hell?
So I'm thinking, fine, let's do it. And he said, we go in and we do this. And in the story, he says, and then he goes, I'm getting ready to come. And she takes a cat puppet and puts it on her hands and jerks me off. And he goes, it was great.
Woohoo! That's right. Huh.
So it made me think about what is the weirdest place or weirdest thing, weirdest situation that you've had sex in. And I know you've told the kitty cat story, so maybe it's the kitty cat story and you want to retell it, you can, which is pretty weird. But
Yeah,
is
that was a
there
doozy.
do you have an answer for that, Steve? I should have probably sent this question to you before we started this, but hey, this is an impromptu on the porch discussion for all the flies on the wall to listen to.
That's right.
don't.
Let Steve go.
I don't. I'd have to think.
Okay, I'll give you time to think.
As we know, I'm the newcomer to the group, and I've only been doing this for 9 years. So
Oh,
I will give you time to think. Okay, so my like I said, we talked about where's I said that Fabio and I have done it in the family bathroom in a famous art museum. Yes, we've done that. Okay, so that doesn't count because this is weird. We had moved to a new city. It was Fabio and I, and we had this couple had they had lots and lots of validations on STC, I think, and they had asked us they had heard that we'd gone to a couple of parties, and they said, let's go out to dinner and let's, we had met him at a party, and I think I'd fucked him at the party, and I think Fabio might have fucked her. I can't remember. And so they said, we should get together. And so we said, okay. And so we got together. Now, I'm a prude when it comes to where somebody chooses to go to dinner. It says a lot about them. Okay. As I've said before, so if the couple says, let's go to dinner at Red Lobster, or let's go to dinner at Steak and Shake, or they say, let's go to dinner at Chili's, then it's already a black mark against them. Like, I want somebody who's adventurous, who goes to the local cuisine. Okay. But so I think this was another case where they had said his favorite restaurant was Chili's or something like that. So we go to, maybe it's Applebee's. I don't want to get in trouble with Chili's. So it's one of those. And so we go and we have dinner there, and they say, let's go back to our house and see what happens. All right. Well, at dinner, she's telling us, we're trying to figure out, sometimes you figure out what the other couple does for a living, and sometimes you don't. And you typically, this is not something that you ask somebody right away at a party when you meet them at this. The etiquette is, if you're at a party, you do not ask somebody who they work for. Okay, because we're supposed to be what happens at the party stays at the party, and it doesn't get out. So you typically do not ask somebody what is their occupation.
That's right.
Right. It's anonymous. Now, if it's a lawyer, I want the guy to tell me he's a lawyer, because I love fucking lawyers, and I love fucking firemen, and I love fucking doctors.
Oh, we just love fucking.
And ambulance guys, because those whole risk takers, that's really great when you figure that out in the middle. And I cannot remember. Well, so she tells me when we're sitting, so we had met them at the party, so I had no idea what either one of them did. We're sitting at dinner, and the topic comes up. What does she do for a living? And she puts on estate sales. Okay. She's one of these people that goes on and puts on estate sales, is what she says to me. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And she's like, yeah, this business that we have, it makes business. We when somebody dies, we help them sell the stuff for the family and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, that's really interesting. So we get to this house. It's a nice house on the outside. And we open up the door and walk in. And there it is, crap, knickknacks, junk, baskets full of faux balls and fake feathers and wooden stuff, and there's little gnomes all around, and there's like, I mean, the house is full of junk. Okay, there's children's sleds and old Santa Clauses, and then there's Halloween stuff on a section, and like there is not any room on the countertop to put a bag of groceries down.
Ooh,
right?
Wow.
There's so much stuff that's just knickknacks everywhere. And this was before Hoarders was even a show, folks. Okay. So I've never seen a house like this. And I'm walking in and I'm trying to hide. I'm really trying to hide whether my whole feelings on this and my shock at this. I'm trying to be the gracious person. I don't want to tell you how really, really weird and scary your house looks, but man, this is scary as shit because there's so much stuff around here. Okay. You walk into, and the living room is full of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, what does the bedrooms look like?
Yeah.
And,
will we be able to even?
Exactly. Okay. And so, I mean, we walk back and she goes, yeah, I just have this thing. I just got to pick up some deals sometimes. When something doesn't sell, I just got to pick it up because I like it. And I'm just thinking, you have a problem, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I start thinking to myself, I can't remember if you guys were worth fucking or not at the party, because it might have been like the fourth or fifth guy that I did. And by the time I get to that fifth guy, honey, I've just forgotten. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you're really, really good. And so, I mean, this guy, he's kind of handsome, and he's an older gentleman, and he's kind of handsome and stuff. And so I'm thinking, okay, I can probably get past this knickknack stuff. It's not my house. It's not the way I would want to have. I don't think I could come over and visit you very much longer because I'm allergic to dust mites, people, and I'm starting to sneeze in here.
Yeah.
So I walk back, and he says, Fabio and her can go back over here into this room and play. And he goes, we're going to play in our master bedroom. And so I walk into the master bedroom, and there's stuff, there's a bed, and there's stuff all around. And he said, well, we're redoing the house, and we've taken down a couple of walls. And I look over, and there's a toilet in the middle of the bedroom.
No.
Oh.
Okay, I kid you not. Okay, there's a toilet in the middle of the bedroom, just like in the middle of all the junk. There's a toilet. Okay, and he says to me, "You go over there and get ready on the bed. I'm going to go to the bathroom."
Oh my
No,
God.
he didn't.
He goes over and he sits down
No.
on the toilet to pee.
No. Tell me it's not so. Right in the middle of the room. Oh no.
Right?
No.
And I'm
No.
just
You
like,
can't make that shit up. You can't make that shit up.
you cannot make this. That's what the title of this one
No.
should be, Skene, and
Yeah.
you can't make this shit up.
Yep.
Because I was sitting there, I'm reading through all of these different experiences. I'm going, well, there's not one about knickknacks being around and having a toilet in the middle of the master.
This is the perfect time for a break.
Introducing Coconut Slickums, the ultimate personal lubricant that brings a touch of tropical paradise to your most adventurous sex party moments. Made from 100% pure coconut oil, Coconut Slickums offers a silky smooth glide that's as natural as a unicorn breeze practicing the rule of 6 or DP. No more worrying about synthetic ingredients or greasy residues. Just a luscious moisturizing experience that feels as good as it sounds. Perfect for enhancing intimacy or just adding a bit of luxurious fun to your day. So go ahead, indulge in the tropical treat your skin deserves with Coconut Slickums. Because when it's this smooth, it's always a perfect day at the meet and greet. To learn more, visit BeyondMonogamyPodcast.com.
No, that's a good one.
mean, the thing is, it's a good thing I'm a woman, because if I was a guy, my heart on would have just gone down. Okay, just watching him go over and sit, that is so not what I want to see. That does not put me in the mood at all.
No,
Okay?
no,
And I mean,
no.
and we're not even talking about him taking the shit. We're just talking about him pissing. But he sits down and pees and then reaches over and grabs the toilet paper. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, just please tell me you're going to go wash your hands somewhere. Please tell me you're going to wash your hands.
Please. Where's the sink? Where's the sink?
And I'm looking around trying to see, is there a sink underneath some of these troll dolls over here? It's just like, and I'm going, oh God. And he did not wash his hands. And then he just comes over and he's all like wanting to kiss me. And it's like, this was way after when I'd done the scope guy. And all of a sudden I'm going, you know what? Scope guy was not too bad.
Yeah. Maybe he was on to something.
I was going to ask you, did you ask him had any scope?
Oh my gosh. Ew, but I want you to wash your hands. You're right. Come on. You got it. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's some scope. There's some scope.
Yeah, pour it on your hands.
I know some of you all were thinking, Janet, you know, you're getting ready to suck his dick. What do you, he touched his dick. That's all he did. It's not like he put his fingers in his pee or whatever. What do you have such an issue about it for? But I did. Okay.
I know. Well, number one, you do not go to the level of urinating in front of someone you're going to play with if you have not a very personal relationship already established.
Exactly.
You do not do that
right
out the gate. And I mean, come on. And then I don't know. I would want you to not only wash your hands. I'd hope you'd go in the bathroom. Well, I guess you didn't have a bathroom there.
It's the
that was the bathroom. Okay, but I'd hope you'd wash your old, dick too. What if it hit up against the toilet when you were sitting down? I mean, no, come on, folks. Come on.
I just can't even believe that I would never invite somebody to my house if I was in the middle of remodeling by the way, we're remodeling.
Yeah.
What the hell do people think?
It wasn't like he said it at dinner. It wasn't like he said it as we walked into the house. It was, hey, here's the door to the master bedroom. And by the way, we're remodeling.
So there's a toilet in the middle.
And
you know how I do a lot of vetting, seriously, when it used to be C4P, SLS, SDC.
SDC. Mm-hmm.
I look at the background of the photos.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going,
absolutely.
Nope.
Yeah.
And there are two things that I always look for if Elle's not available to do it. The background and their hands. She has a thing with man's hands. She goes, but those are the things. So yeah, I'm always looking at the background. Unfortunately, you weren't able to know that, but yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Just amazing that you said, by the way.
What's more amazing though, are the people who post pictures in front of all that crap.
Yes.
I mean,
but see, I don't think they did. I think that the pictures that they had on their profile were all pictures of them at a party. Okay. Or at somebody else's house or whatever. It had to be somebody else's house because there was not a square, there was not a wall. Because I went back and I looked at their profile and it was a blank wall behind them. And I know there was not a blank wall at that house. Okay.
Well, what's funny is the three of us know a couple like that. Mutual. You walk up the house, nice 2-story house, nice area that they live in. You walk in, it's wall-to-wall clutter. It's like, what the heck is this? And then we had looked at pictures and everything before. None of them were at their house. None of them were at their house.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you go in blind. But in general, you try to do that. But yeah, if they don't have those pictures up, you're just sort of at the mercy of, here we go.
Well, and this is going to make Kyle happy because Kyle and Lola, I told him that story, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. We hung out with them at COVID. So we were telling stories every day. And so he's like, have you told the story on the podcast about the guy with the toilet in the middle of his in his bedroom?
That is just insane.
No, the insane part is that he used it. He used it.
Well, it's like,
in front of you.
And to say, I would, and here's the deal, is cover that sucker up, okay? If you're coming in and it's a new person, who's coming in.
Yeah.
And They knew we were coming back to their house. It's not like, oh, on a whim, y'all, we're going to go out to dinner and no, let's go back to my place. Oh, I don't know. I haven't cleaned
Cover
my
it
place
and
in a
put
while.
a
No,
plant on it.
they had planned, let's do dinner and come back to our house to play. It was
Wow.
a day before, 2 days before. So y'all get something to cover it up. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Cover it up and put a plant on it. Come on.
And here's the deal. If I've only fucked you once, you do not have the right to pee in front of me.
No.
You just don't.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
I don't even like it now. Okay, with Fabio, we have different bathrooms. I don't want to listen to him, and I don't want him listening to me. I will turn the water on. Okay. If I'm where he can hear me, if we're in a hotel room or whatever, I'm turning the water on and peeing. Just because I'm not, it's a hang up of mine. I don't. And maybe it came from my first husband peeing on me in the shower all the other time. I don't know. Okay, but that's my personal private place, and that's your personal private space, and I don't need to be there. Okay, that is not sexy to me. And
I agree.
You better be a damn fine fuck to do this in front of me. And I haven't met anybody yet who okay, maybe Beauregard could do that.
Oh yeah, I would say yes to that one. Yeah, I would say yes. You're right.
But he would never do it. I know that Beauregard would.
He's
would
way
never
too much
do
of a
it.
gentleman. He's a gentleman. Yeah, but
Right.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
Crazy.
So I don't know, but it brought that to mind, and then I started thinking about how, you just don't talk about your occupations or anything until much further down the road, until you become friends with people. And the thing is, you also don't have each other's last name. Like I have.
That's why it's anonymous. Kind of.
I have people still in my phone that, okay, I learned Bill and Miranda's last name, and I learned Barbie's last name. Okay. But for the longest time, I did not know Stephen L's last name. And so they were in my phone as Stephen L.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And nothing else. And then somebody would go, well, what's their last name? You don't know it? Well, you said they're friends of yours. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And we've had sex. We've had sex. They've seen me completely naked.
But
I don't know their last name.
You can't say that to vanilla group. So somebody who's in the vanilla, it is a sign. If somebody has a whole bunch of couples in their phone without a last name, y'all, they're a lifestyler. Okay.
Right.
That's a sign
they
that
don't know their last name. Yeah.
We have tried to camouflage it somewhat. And every person that I have that's in the lifestyle, it starts with the word Ellis, Ellis.
Right. For lifestyle.
Yeah, for lifestyle. And somebody says, well, what's Ellis? Well, that's a company I used to work for, whatever. Yeah. And that's all the people who knew.
Good cover. Yeah. Mine, I say FOE, Friends of Ellis. Okay. Because FOE stands for Friends of Ellis. And so if I have, Jane and John Smith, then I'll put FOE in. And most of the time, I don't have Smith down there. I just have Jane and John, and then I have FOE. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, that way, right. And I think one of my children a long time ago had asked me what that was. And I told him it was a fraternity. That it was, I go back to Fabio's lie, well, we really are in kind of a fraternity or a sorority. Yeah. And I said, it was something that I had a long time ago from college. And, so these are way old people. And I can't even tell you how I remember them from way back, because they were related to somebody in it, or we became friends. Because the older you get, the more you get to hide behind your age. Oh, I can't remember how I met those people.
Yeah, that was back, in the 1990s. Oh my gosh, yes. That was so long ago.
It was back from the 70s or 80s, people.
Oh, we're not going there. We're not
Don't
going
expect me to do. Don't, and then, well, they don't want to hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
So if your kids are asking you stuff about it, you're just like, yeah, and we go back to the 80s. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hell,
Right.
it was in college sometime,
Exactly.
or it was right out of college. Might have been in high school. Might have been a friend of my high school person. I don't know.
Exactly.
I went to a huge high school. So,
And a big college. Pretty big college. So,
I did. So, I was having a discussion with my sister today. And so, my sister knows I'm in the lifestyle, kind of. Okay. So, the reason is because my first husband, when I went through the divorce, he was really mad and he didn't want me to get divorced. And he was very controlling. And he threatened to tell all my brothers and sisters that I was in the lifestyle. And then, because he knew that if he threatened to tell my children, then that would make him complicit. Okay. But he threatened to tell all of my brothers and sisters as a blackmail thing. So I decided the best way to stop the blackmail was just to call them up and tell them all. Okay. So I called them all up except for the one I wasn't talking to. And so I called up and like I had told my brother, and my brother said, "Why are you telling me this?" And I said, "Because, I'm separated from my first husband and he's threatening to tell." And he goes, "Okay." And he goes, "Well, I haven't had sex with my wife for 4 years. Can I live vicariously through you?" And, I said, that was the time I was writing the blog and I had to take the blog down. But I had told all of them, including this sister, the one sister that I was in the lifestyle. And this had been years ago. So, I mean, it was, like I said, I got divorced probably 15 years ago. So it was 15 years ago that I told her. And then I didn't talk to her about it afterwards. So I didn't talk to her about the fact that my second husband was in the lifestyle, that I met him at the lifestyle. She doesn't know any of those things. Okay. She knows only what she knows, that I am the black sheep, wild child of the family. Okay. She knows that. And so we were having a discussion today about my daughter had gotten married a couple of years ago, and she had a bachelorette party, and she said she wanted me to come. And then my ex-sister-in-law was there. And so ex-sister-in-law was there. I was there. Tequila was there. We were having a lot of fun. And a lady came by that was the sex toy salesperson. And so she had the group. Now, there was all my daughter's age people, her cousins, all of her friends and stuff were there. And so the lady starts, putting toys out there, and she starts asking people, "Do you know what this is, or have you used this before?" Well, I had tequila, y'all. So I just answered, yes.
Oh, no.
I answered, yes, that one's good. No, that one's not any good. That one's from China. Don't be careful what kind of lube you used with that one. Use coconut oil. Okay. So
Slickums.
I was answering this. And the woman brings out the womanizer and she says, "Has anybody used this before?" I was like, "Oh, that's one of my favorites." Okay.
Oh,
So the girls in the shower, they just think I'm the wild child. Okay. It's just she's just the wild child, and that's it, and I'm just saying, hey, this is something that you all need to figure this out. And it was at this whole thing that one of my nieces said that she's never orgasmed before. And she quietly told me this. She whispered this to me, and I was like, "Oh, honey, you need to get one of these toys now." Okay, because you cannot expect the man to help you orgasm if you have never orgasmed yourself.
That's
okay,
right.
So this is Janet calling out to all you women out there. Okay,
Yep.
Play with yourself. Okay,
Absolutely.
figure it out. Masturbate. Get some coconut oil. Don't tell me you're too old to play with yourself. Get some coconut oil. Keep it by your bedside. Use the coconut oil. Play with your fingers. Figure out what feels good. Feel around with your fingers, and then get yourself a toy.
Oh, get
And
yourself a
and
really good vibrator, man.
get a
Mm.
really good vibrator. Get a womanizer, okay, or
Yes.
a knockoff of the
Yes.
womanizer.
Yeah.
It looks like a
Yeah.
plastima fish. It looks like it's got the little sucker thing on the end of it, okay. And when you put that sucker right near your clit, I mean, you're going to come fast, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you have never, and if you have never come before, and this, I try to tell this to my niece, and I don't know if she ever got it or not, but you, um, you feel it almost feels like it's going to hurt. You're crescendoing. You're getting the goosebumps. You're starting to your pulse is racing, and it's the crescendo's coming up, and you feel like if you continue that you're going to hurt yourself. And I'm here to tell you, you are not going to hurt yourself. Keep
Oh
going.
no.
Don't stop. Don't pull off. If you pull off too early because you say it's going to hurt, no, don't stop. Okay. I want you to hear Janet in your head. I want you to hear Barbie in your head telling you, don't stop. Don't stop. Keep the toy there. Let it go.
That's right.
And it will push you over the top of that mountain to where you are standing at the top, yodeling, screaming, this is a great time. You will. It'll be a gush thing. Okay. And if you're a little older, it's not going to gush as much. But if you're younger, ladies, you will find it. Okay. And so you need to do this. And so I was having this discussion, right? And so then my sister tells me today on the conversation, this was years ago. Okay. And she tells me today, she goes, that your sister-in-law came up to me during the wedding reception and said, I don't know if you're as wild as your sister, but did you know that your sister has a good time?
Hey, that's a compliment.
I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I know she has a good time.
Okay. So and I said we had the first. I said, I told you a long time ago what I did. I had to tell you. And she goes, yeah, but we haven't really talked about it. And so then she starts to tell me a few stories of where now her stories are nothing like mine, which is great. I'm not going to play that competition game. I'm happy that she's even talked to me about it. Okay.
Exactly.
So she's at least got some stuff. But I'm just I couldn't believe on that conversation today.
Oh
really?
my,
I've
great.
got this. I got this reputation now, y'all. I'm the black sheep wild woman.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sadly, what you said though is one of my sex news stories I was looking up about in Psychology Today, and the number of ladies who don't masturbate at all is unbelievable.
Right.
They did almost 4,000. They did a sample of like 4,000 people, and 44% of the women don't masturbate at all.
Oh my goodness.
44%. I'm going, are you kidding me?
Gosh, do you think they were being honest? I mean, that is a lot.
Yeah. And weekly, if women who masturbate weekly, 4% of the women. 4%.
Oh no. I used to do it every day.
It's like, holy, and it surprised me because I feel sorry for these ladies.
Oh, I do too.
Why are they not? Is it relational? Religious, whatever it may be. But I found it just wild and out there that I just was.
That's a staggering number.
It really is
staggering number. Yeah.
But I also kind of believe it though on some because there's religions and there's what your mama taught you. This is how my sister and I were talking about it today about what mom taught us, and that she scared the hell out of her when it came to having sex. And so when she first started out, she was very what did she call it, klutzy and cumbersome, because she was so scared of what mom had taught her. Well, by the time my mom got to me, I had to figure it out for my friends. Okay. And so I figured it out on my own.
Yeah,
I figured it out by reading some dirty books. And the thing is, thank God they didn't understand that Lady Chatterley's Lover had really great sex scenes in it that you could read. Okay. So that was the good stuff. But I think you're right. I don't, which is a shame. Because I watch this whole thing of I don't want to have sex because I have a headache. Oh, honey, if I have a headache, sex is one of the best ways for me to get rid of the headache.
Mm-hmm.
I will reach for a toy. If Fabio's not around or not in the mood, I will reach for a toy and make myself come to get the pulse going to take the head pain away. It makes the endorphins that come out because of it, the way that you feel during it cures a lot of ills. If I'm depressed, if I'm really depressed, hey, give me a toy, and then give me a toy with something I can listen to or read. Okay, give me some reading porn. I don't like watching porn just because of my first husband and stuff. But I love to read a good porn story, like a Penthouse Forum or whatever, something like that. Yeah, give me that. And then, or tell me a story.
Yeah.
Mm.
Elle will do it if she'll wake up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
She'll grab her bullet.
By the bedside.
Go back to sleep.
It helps a lot. A lot.
Right. I'm in the bedroom.
Oh, she's showing us her bag of tools.
So I'm sitting in the bedroom and it's sitting here in the bedside. There's the
That's
bag of toys, and it's just
and the womanizer. That's right.
Then I have the coconut oil. So
Slickums. You have some Slickums.
Yeah.
Slickums. I have some Slickums. Okay, I think we have traversed this enough today. I think we have enough material for a full podcast. For all of you flies on the wall, if you would like to join the conversation, you want to talk about it, you have a question for us, we'll be more than happy to answer it. The best place to go to find all of the past podcasts that we have been telling you about is our website, which is beyondmonogamypodcast.com. Smash all the words together, no periods or anything, just beyondmonogamypodcast.com. You're going to find all of the old episodes. You also find them on Apple and YouTube and wherever it is that you're listening, Spotify, whatever it is you're listening to our podcast on. But really the best place is to go to that website. It's also the place to go to send us an email or question. Currently, we have email addresses up there for me and for Roger. We're going to get them up there for Steve and for Barbie, hopefully pretty quickly. This is also the place to tip Mandingo because he doesn't get paid for producing this, and we work him hard. And he is a voyeur that likes to listen, but that's not enough. He needs to get some monetary value out of it. So until the next time, for all you flies on the wall, I hope that you come again and come again and come again.
That's it for this episode of Beyond Monogamy. We hope you enjoyed our podcast, and we look forward to having you back again for the next episode of Beyond Monogamy.